Welcome everyone to this weird edition of this is a tech kind of episode. This is episode 163. Yes, and this is going to be about tech. And if you're watching this through video, you may notice a odd Thanksgiving background. My brain is not broken. There's a purpose for this much later on once the guest needs to go somewhere else. We're going to do something with Thanksgiving because Thanksgiving is we celebrate in America. And I'm going to do comparison with Canada's and American version of Thanksgiving is actually quite different. But that'll be much later on. Much later on. We have a guest here. Gotta be respectful of guests. You know this, my dear listeners. I have someone here who has extensive technological knowledge. And you know, that's one of the main things with this podcast. And me, I'm more a filter than usual because this is a more professional business kind of episode. If you want me to go wild and crazy, that's the random stuff. It's not this episode. So I'm more relaxed. I have multiple personalities. If you say I got a disorder, that's fine. I don't care. But before I drag this on, and feel free to correct me if I butcher your name. Is your name Uzair Ahmed?
Uzair Ahmed, yep.
Okay, very, very good. I like to get that right. Hopefully the first time. That's not always the case.
You got it.
Let me just run right through what he does because he does multiple things. He's not just someone who does one thing and it's okay, this podcast is over with. He's only one trick pony. No. Let's not discount him like that, okay? That's not. I mean, he is an entrepreneur, especially in the tech realm. He's doing home services. What's the exact term? Yeah, more like home-based internet tech service.
No, so I help home service companies, specifically like HVAC and plumbing companies, automate their business. Build and scale automated HVAC and plumbing companies.
Yep, that's what he does, and he's also obviously a business person. And he just doesn't do that. He does. He has some experience with cryptocurrency. You know me, my skeptical days are dying because lately I've been talking to the right people with crypto, especially with Bitcoin. I think I'm more convinced with Bitcoin, and he's also a skilled communicator. I gotta be honest. Some tech people suck at communication. I'm just gonna be brutally honest. And it's like pulling teeth and nails just to get a basic question answered. I doubt it's this guest here. Don't think I'm referring to this guest. Don't be cynical. Don't be mean. It's not this guest here. That's why he's here. A normal tech person, like to live in their own bubble. Not the most social for all that. So, and he also got a degree. Okay, he lives in Canada, okay? He earned his bachelor's degree in chemical engineering from the University of Alberta. And he does golf and basketball if you're interested. So he's not just someone who's sitting on his tuchus all day with a computer. All right, you take it away. What did I miss in that introduction?
No, that was good. So I started a new business, but my existing business already runs. I got to the point where it was growing on its own, and I became more of a problem than help. And that's when I started a new business where I'm helping other HVAC and plumbing company owners get to the same place.
Okay, yep. I mean, it's Meg what you used to do. What's the current one? I know I pulled it up.
It's called Cottonwood Automation.
Yeah, Cottonwood Automation. That's his current business. I want to make sure you get that clear. He's jumped from one business to another. He's birthing multiple businesses, and it's great. Shoot, I could barely launch this podcast off the road, so that's great right there. I would hate.
Well, you probably learned a lot of episodes. You've got a lot of episodes, so you did pretty well with it.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy, especially being a one-man show. But enough about me. Let's go for the journey, starting with Instameg, about how you found it and you scale it to a big success that it is, and what factors made it very successful. What key factors contribute to that success?
So I started this 8 years ago. I was working as an engineer, and I read this book called The Millionaire Fast Lane, and it talked about, the different ways of building wealth. And there was 3 different ways. The first one was you just spend every money you make, right? And there was no plan for the future. The second one was what most of us do, where we get a job and then we invest savings. We cut back on costs and we try to invest it that way in the market. And then we're at the hopes and whims of the market. It might be high when we retire, it might be low. It's a tried and true method, but it takes a long time to get done, but it relies a lot on hope. And the last way was to build out your own system. And he gave a bunch of commandments about like, here's what you need from a business to have that. I think the part that struck me the most is that if you ever want to increase your salary, with a job, you have to beg your boss. And you're also limited by the number of hours per day. But with a business, you can just increase your prices. You can start selling more stuff. You can hire more people. You can scale up. There's so many more levers to control, right? And that's what I really liked about business. And that's what got me started in my first company.
Now you hear that? If you want to take a risk, be your own boss, make a business. I mean, it's been proven. I mean, lots of times, especially if it's successful, to be the best way to generate so much money. Just like he said, you need to have a system. And I think most people just don't get that. There's hopes and dreams, even making a business, and those collapse. If I'm going to be kind, probably within 5 years or less. But you see, that's one of the big difference. That's a system is very, very important. So it's boring, it get repetitive. I said, well, sometimes the boring pathway is the best pathway to success. I do say sometimes, because it depends on the industry. I'm not gonna generalize everything there. So that's all. All right. See, so systems is what I got that has contributed to that success. And then now I'm going to shift just a little bit to AI. And if you want to, feel free to dive in deep with Instamec. I could go back and forth with different conversations. I'm pretty easy going.
I like talking more about AI. Did you see what happened
that's
with
the next one.
OpenAI this weekend?
Oh no, I've seen the news with that about what's the CEO's name there? Sam Altman got booted.
Yeah, and then they wanted him back, and he says no. Now he's with Microsoft. It's kind of wild what happened. I can't wait till the story comes out.
Yeah, I'm curious about that. I've been paying attention to that, and I'm happy you mentioned that because I was thinking about it. Is the guest going to mention? I'm pretty sure he will, because tech. You have a very big tech. I mean, your background screams tech, capitalized technology, business. So it's very strong on those components at least. Yeah, and I can't wait to get to the nitty-gritty details about what's revealed. Yeah, so they lost a great talent. I think the board was pretty stupid. The reason that they provided was not the best one. You could coach someone to communicate better, and that's really the issue.
Well, the guy that spearheaded the coup, he regrets it. He said, I messed up.
An idiot. Yep.
It all happened in a weekend. It all happened in a weekend. So much, so fast.
I'm just disgusted with the board. That's my honest opinion. Yeah, I'm not surprised that they're doing this out of emotion and because when I saw the reasoning, and it's not a very good one, it was just all this communication style was hindering processes, whatever they said. I didn't grasp it because it sound like doo-doo. It was not a very good, for at least my opinion. It
sounds like we don't know, because I think there's a possibility that there was some groundbreaking technology that came out, and OpenAI's board is like, we can't let this out. This can't it can't be released. It's too powerful to be released to the public without any safety guards. And maybe Sam and the rest of the guys were very focused on commercialization, because OpenAI is supposed to be a nonprofit. First of all, it became a for-profit, and it was supposed to safeguard AGI. And maybe these guys were like, listen, we're just going to keep this stuff away from the board, so the board can't do their job, while Sam and Greg wanted to focus on just innovating quickly. That could be a thing. We'll find out.
I mean, that's a good educated guess. Not much is known. Let's just be clear to listeners. Not much known. I'm sure details are going to leak out soon.
Think about it this way, though.
Yeah.
If there was supposed to be an AGI that comes out, and some people knew about it and some people didn't, this is the kind of drama it would start off as.
True.
There'd be some stuff like if there was some super powerful technology that some people were scared of and some people were not. This is exactly what it would look like at the start.
Yeah, there's some early adopters and there's early skeptics and even downright doubters. Yeah.
Or people that are like, we need to save, or I would say like there's people that are pro commercialization and like just get this thing out there, and other ones who are like, we should secure this somehow because it's too crazy of a technology. And that's where the
Yeah, no, it makes sense. That makes sense. I won't be surprised if something similar to that. I mean, no arguments for me. Sounds sensible to me. I mean, I'm not a big tech expert, but ooh, this AI stuff. All right, so stick it to AI. What role do you think is gonna play in business automation? I'm sure it's huge.
Mhm.
Probably some specifics would be nice. I know that AI is going to improve efficiency with processes and customer service for sure. I think the better question would be how, and any specifics you could provide regarding that.
Well, it depends. So it's not really good for customer facing stuff yet, but there are some promising technologies. There's AIs that can answer the phone with for you and book jobs, which I'm testing out right now, and it's getting better and better every week, it seems. There's AIs that, chatbots that can answer questions for you, but they're like kind of iffy too. Like it just depends on how you train it, right? But I think the cool thing about AI is that it can take an unstructured data, which is how most small businesses have the information, and then analyze it for you and find information for you that you might have missed otherwise. I like that use case.
Yeah, I mean, I have. Anyways,
We can't hear any of it. Okay.
but back to the chatbot experience. I have interacted with chatbots. They're supposed to be customer facing, and I got to be honest, I have mixed results. If it's a very simple, clear question, it can answer it. But if I have a more complicated or an ambiguous request, it doesn't do a good job.
Yeah, it's not there yet. That's why I always said, I'm like, it's not that, it's all this customer facing AI stuff isn't really there. I think it's better for backend, but eventually it's not going to take long for it to be there. It's not going to take that long.
Yeah, and no, I see that. I don't know. The question is when. It's not an if, right? So about how AI is progressing so quick. I mean, it's quicker than any technology we have encountered as human beings. So it's just a matter of when. It is inevitable, and I'm sure it's going to start doing. I'll probably give it the next. If I'm going to be modest, probably a year or two.
Oh, easily, yeah, 100%. I would give it a few. I would get 6 to 7 months. They might have GTP5 out now. And if you see 3.5 is like 100x, 4 is better than 100. It's about 100x better than 3.5. I can't imagine 5 being like, I can't even imagine what 5 is like.
Yeah, and 4 was a big jump. It was text to images.
Sorry, I meant 3.5 to 4 was a big jump. So I can't even imagine what 5 to 4 is going to look like.
Oh no, I can't imagine that either.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're gonna release it, and I'm gonna be astonished. That's all I know for sure. That's the only bet I'm gonna make. Yeah, I mean, this AI stuff is really fascinating. I mean, it's affecting everything. I mean, sometimes when I talk about politics in general, which I'm not gonna get very deep, AI has huge impact in politics as well. Because international laws, banning it, restricting it, depending what country you look at. America, we're one of the few that we only made it strict when it comes to schools and copyright. Those only things. But when it comes to like certain communist countries, they will ban it for public use, but the government will use it to control its folks, generally speaking. But I'm not gonna get too deep into that because this is more of a tech focused episode. Yeah, and it's something I want to think about. I mean, AI is impacting just about everything. Unless you live off the grid, want to go back to prehistoric times, maybe that's the only way you can avoid it. But I don't find that smart. It's not smart.
No, you're gonna progress forward, right?
Yeah. And it's going to cause disruptions. Let's just be clear. I mean, I am a cautious optimist. That's the way I position myself. For the most part, I'm sure we're going to do good. But there are going to be some weird things. I mean, if you look at what's another big city on the West Coast, San Francisco, they're already testing self-driving cars, and they are causing chaos already. They have no drivers. It's all automated. They already drive through sidewalks. They block traffic. Those are some of the bad. But for the good is that it's very efficient. It helps, go through the tedious processes much more quickly. And I'm sure there's gonna be more jobs I'm pretty sure. I mean, the old jobs are going to be lost. I mean, that's always been a thing. Factories was one thing. That was another big disruptor a long time ago. Now the AI, this is going to be the major disruptor. So we just got
Mhm.
to upgrade the skills, be relevant, people. There's going to be a lot more jobs opening with
You gotta be,
AI.
yeah,
Go
exactly.
ahead.
You just gotta be especially like relevant now. You gotta be on top of everything. You can't do what we did before.
Yeah, I mean it's the inevitable, people. If you hate AI, just retire and go to some beach somewhere. I mean, I'm just being nice here. This is my G version, not my rated R version. I'll be a lot more colorful and expressive, believe me. That's for the other episodes. Go to the other episodes if you want the more uncensored version of your host. Not for this one. This one's tech. This one is a bit more on the professional business side. So I'm behaving. If that upsets you or disappoints you, oh well. I gotta keep up with the theme here. And it's Thanksgiving edition as well. What do you want me to do? Throw a plate and throw a couple of fireworks just for drama? I mean, good for entertainment, but what impact? None. None really.
Mhm.
None. So yeah, AI. What concerns have you encountered with AI, or do you even have any?
Trust that their perspective is right perspective. So I think it's better to have like unfiltered AI, which there's no safeguards. Because who decides what the safeguards are?
Yep, it's the creators, and then the government's going to put their safeguards in there, and these are the answers that come up without thinking too much, on top of the head. Yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
and they'll have, of course, they have their own agenda.
I said that when it comes to AI, there's this whole talk of safeguarding it, right?
Mm.
But the person that safeguards it, who decides to be the person that safeguards it according to what viewpoint? Their viewpoint, right? And what they think is right. But is that universally good for humanity? We don't know that. And everyone's got their own biases. Nobody can be completely neutral.
Yeah, that's very true. And I won't be surprised that bias is even be transferred to the AI.
Mhm.
There's very certain cases of it. I hate to use the racial lens, but there's already a few of those examples popping up already. As well, the race equity people has a point right there. Finally, instead of just they're playing the victim mentality, and we can just brush them off. Oh, they just being emotional because they're not being successful. And you can't really dismiss that. That's really to some extent be transferred to AI. I'm not going to say all the way because I haven't looked into it. And I'm sure there's going to be more stuff popping up about that. So I'm reserving a strong opinion until later on. That's what I'm going to say. But there's
Mhm.
already a few instances of implicit racial bias going on with AI, and
Mhm.
that's probably reflective of the creator.
That's exactly it, right?
Yeah. So is it going to get rid of a bias entirely? Not yet, at least.
Who knows, right?
I mean, I want to be optimistic and just say I hope so, but I don't. Yeah, I don't get too down on AI or now start teaching my position. Oh no, man, I know that's not the case, but we have to be alert on certain things that are going on. I don't want to bury my head in the sand, just act like it's paradise. Oh, AI is going to solve every single thing. Yeah, I'm sure AI is going to solve things. Probably with and I said this before. One of my previous guests is that you need to use your intelligence when using AI. You can't just let AI do the thinking for you.
Mhm.
You have to have your intent and what's your goal with the AI. Because I did the lazy way without critical thinking, results were bad. If I was intentional, be meticulous with it, or have a clear goal or message for AI, the results are great.
Mhm.
But if you're unclear, not sure, well, AI could do its best to figure it out, but AI is not a psychic. I'm sure it's going to get there at some point, but as of
Yeah, yeah.
now, it's still learning. It's still
It's not
learning. That's the
psychic, yeah.
key. It's the key. It's not that it's never going to get there. No, it's going to get there. It's a when kind of question, not an if. Okay.
Mhm.
Let's just be clear about that. All right. So so that's all. That's my general opinion of AI. It's definitely a great tool. Great technology, and I'm curious to see how far this is going to go, and it's going to definitely go
Mhm.
far. It's just going real quick through phases, unlike most things. This is
Mhm.
going like this real quick. I mean, when it comes to game consoles, iPads, and all that, it took years for them just to actually upgrade and innovate. But AI is just months. Yeah. Next month we have this
Yeah,
going on, and next month we
100%.
already there. Yeah. I mean, AI is
Yeah,
I mean, the evolution of this technology is unprecedented. Unprecedented. I don't use that word a lot, but it really is unprecedented.
100%. Yeah.
Feel free to chime in. This is about you. Feel free to cut me off. They heard my
Yeah. Okay. No, go ahead.
they heard my voice many times already. So, anything else you want to add for AI before I jump to automation and
No,
outsourcing?
that's good. No, automation. That's good.
Okay. Well, okay. Now I found the proper wording. How do you vision automation or outsourcing transforming the home service industry? And can you provide any specific examples regarding that?
The way I approach this is that right now we're in a pivotal time where the people that can do the work, the plumbers, the HVAC guys, all these tradespeople, they're dwindling in population. Nobody wants to do that job, right? So supply is going down, but demand is going up because we still need them. But the problem is we need to run a business in a way we can afford to pay these guys what they deserve and what we have to get them, but at the same time still be profitable. So the best way to do that is to make sure your operations is run as cheaply as possible, but still effective. And the way to do that is to automate a lot of the back end processes and outsource to overseas labor for phone calls and admin work in the back versus hiring local. And that's exactly what I do.
Hmm.
I build them the system where they can run that business as cheaply as possible and efficiently without sacrificing anything. But and at the same time, they can pay their technicians the highest market wage while still turning out a profit. And that puts them heads and shoulders above everybody else, head and shoulders.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, you mentioned plumbers, right? Yeah. So when it comes to plumbers, I mean, this is an issue even in America. They're still needed.
Especially in America.
Yeah, especially in America. Yeah. Plumbers are in high demand, but supply of those folks has dwindled. And oh my goodness. Jeez Louise. This is good blooper content right here. For sure. All right. Well, what I was saying, yeah, plumbers are in high demand and they are costly, but their services are needed. I mean, no offense. I don't think the AI could control a robot fully well, maybe for 1,000 miles away to tell it to fix a
not anytime soon. Yeah.
That one I could say is probably going to take a few years for that one to happen. Probably I'm giving it 2 or 3 years. I'm going to be modest. That's my prediction. I could be wrong. There's a disclaimer. Don't take my predictions very seriously, people. I'm not a wizard. And I like that you said that you want to make the back end as cheaply as possible, but still effective. And that's a problem with some American companies. They cut things too cheap to the point that operation quality falls apart with it.
You can't do that. No.
Yeah, no. And it's very, very important. So you find that nice balance. Say you cut off unnecessary expenses, but yet maintaining optimal functionality when it comes to the back end stuff. And that's very, 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 that's a very profound point. That's why I have to repeat that because I understand cutting costs, but we're going to keep cutting it to the point that let me just use the human body real quick. Yeah, cut fat, but if you're going to get to the point that you start cutting off veins and all of that,
that's too much.
That's too much.
Yeah,
like excess fat. You want to cut that part off. But now we start hitting the nerves and the important organs. Yeah, that's gonna compromise the human bodies in more ways than one. And I'm gonna get detailed into that. We both know, we both have a general idea what's gonna happen to the human body after that. It's gonna be a whole lot of pain for what? Yeah, and a lot of it's gonna be in vain. Yeah, so that's why when we cut, should be a balance. So that's why I gotta emphasize that point. Business people out there, I normally don't talk to you. Hope you're listening. Cut till you find that sweet spot. Cut that necessary expense. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna sound like a harsh owner, a lazy person who don't want to do anything and has violated policies more than once. Oh yeah, bye. Don't need that one. Have the AI replace that person. No problem with me right there. There's a hardworking person. Okay, we would keep that person doing something else. Recommend them some training, how to work with AI. Boom. Keep the best talent. I mean, I'll be one way of doing that, but I'm not a business owner. I don't have a team just yet, so I have a general idea how I'm going to do that once I have a team. But for the time being, it's just me, myself, and I, and just doing this thing. And so far, I'm doing pretty well with it because I could juggle. I've learned how to juggle. And that's personally, I'm going to say this one more time, my project management training. You have to juggle a bunch of stuff because life will keep going faster and faster and faster. Demand will go up. You can say, "Oh, stop! I could quit." Well, I'll be homeless in a couple of months. So not the best option.
No.
So you got to figure things out and you got to come up with a plan and execute to the best of your abilities.
100%. Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say for that. Now, is there anything else you want to add regarding automation and actually no, I got someone to add regarding outsourcing. And well, in America, especially with the former president and one who fails to acknowledge that he lost the election, which is very dangerous. I'm not gonna say his name, but I'm sure you heard about him at one point. He's all over. You can't avoid him. But long story short, he was against outsourcing. That's the only reason why I mentioned it. And but obviously a lot of businesses, they do a whole lot of outsourcing. They outsource because labor, the cost is cheaper.
Way cheaper,
much cheaper. Customer service quality, well, that's debatable. It depends on your experience.
Depends who you hire, yeah. So it depends what kind of system you have, right?
Yeah.
You got to be careful in how you run that. And that's where I kind of play. I try to figure out a system that works best. So customer service does not suffer.
Yeah, I've dealt with my personal experience, and I have a nuance. I did experience great from outsourced callers and not so great from outsourced callers with the banks.
It just totally depends on who you hire, right? And how you run the team.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do it the right way, it can get pretty bad. So that's sort of what I help with. So I'm like, there's a way of doing it. There's countries where you can hire from. And if you do a good job, it does work out.
I know it definitely does work out. If you execute it right. And like I said, I have a mixed experience. One, understand exactly what I was saying about what needed to be done. And then the other one, it took 3 to 5, actually 5. I had to say the problem 5 different ways. And I don't want to sound like I'm insensitive or anything, but certain people had accents so thick, it was hard to understand. I mean, I could deal with a low to mid accent, but the accents are so thick, it's hard to understand. Some of they just don't listen and they don't grasp the situation. That's more.
I think the worst one is when they don't grasp the situation. And I think the worst thing too is when you're not empowering your customer agents with enough power to make decisions. That's when it gets really frustrating. So if you just have them as effectively just robots on the phone that answer questions only, but you give them no autonomy and no power, that's when it becomes problematic, right? People get frustrated. And regarding the accent thing, I agree with that. So you got to find like the right balance.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and let me go speed this up. Let's talk a little bit about cryptocurrencies, about how that's going to impact the home service industry.
It's not going to impact the home service industry. It's not.
Even payment through Bitcoin?
No one cares about that. People pay with credit card all the time. You want to pay with credit card, you get the points.
Very good point.
Yeah.
And that's
there's no impact to it. That's just I don't know why that's added to my bio. I'll get them to take that off.
Well, hey, we talk about crypto, and I think
it's a great investment. Like that's if you're thinking in terms of like where should I put my money, I think that's a great place to put it.
Yeah. I think the one that's making the most gains, if I'm not mistaken, is Bitcoin in particular. It'd be implemented in certain institutions, even certain places.
They're coming out. They might come out with an ETF, right? And that's what the big money's behind. Like everyone is betting on that, make it accessible for everyone to buy it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, that is the quickest answer we got for crypto so far, and I'm not a crypto expert, so don't come yelling at me if you took my advice. I don't know if my guest is a crypto expert as well. You probably should not take it. Just who blame? Just because you have knowledge of it doesn't make you an expert.
Exactly.
Key thing. Unless one is certified or whatever. Alrighty then. As much as I would like to stretch this out, is there anything you want to add before I wrap this up?
No, I think we covered most of it today. Just make sure you keep up with AI because that is going to be moving extremely fast and it's a very powerful technology that you shouldn't ignore that one. Of all the technologies to ignore, this might be the one that you don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, yep. I mean, you could ignore the nonsense like the Furbies and all that
Mm-hmm.
other stuff. I mean, oh man, I'm going back to childhood now. You could ignore that fad
Yeah.
or even jewelry, candy, or something, something as nonsensical as that. But AI, no, it
Don't
is
ignore it. Yeah.
spreading. It is spreading globally. Rather you like it or not, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
That's irrelevant. Okay, if you want to stay relevant to becoming a business owner or a lucrative worker, you get some lucrative opportunities. I mean, there was a position. I'm not sure if that got filled already. I won't be surprised that Netflix is paying nearly $1 million as an AI consultant, essentially. So, there's some bucks to be made with that. It's not
Mm-hmm.
just, oh, for the geek and the nerdy. No, you foolish person. There is some legitimate business and lucrative opportunities with that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my big takeaway. And
Yeah.
check
Yeah.
out his business, his current one, I should say, Cottonwood Automation. And he does got a Twitter and a LinkedIn account as well. Now, according
Yeah.
to your bio, the Twitter is where you're active. I refuse to call it X. That's a little dig at Elon Musk, but that's my little beef with that. So check him out. Just
Perfect.
check him out, and I'll put all those descriptions and link. I'll put the whole thing, the links, his businesses, right in the description below on both YouTube, Rumble, and Acast. And Acast will spread to Apple and Spotify. Talk about automation.
Yeah.
Yeah. All righty then. Anything else you want to add? Any final words?
Nope, that's good. Thanks for having me today.
All right, no problem. And there you go. Yay, maintain my good reputation respecting time. I haven't failed yet. I'm not planning to either.
Okay, perfect. All right then. It was great meeting you.
Yeah, no, it's good meeting you too. All right, then take care.
Take care. Bye.
Bye. All right, listeners. You notice this Thanksgiving background, this nice table filled with candles and drinks and food and a nice home, a nice dining room right behind me. Well, I have that because this is a Thanksgiving edition. And it's weird because I can understand, some of your reactions about why I decided to do this with the guests here. Well, listen, if I wasn't going to do this, I was going to push this to next year. But no, I'll celebrate a little Thanksgiving. And the question I have to you, listeners, is what are you grateful for? Can you name me one thing that you're grateful for? Okay. Or you can name multiple. Doesn't have to be limited to one. What are you grateful for? Okay. And this is a little bit of random inserted into this episode. And let's see if we can get this message clear. There you go. Give thanks. Yes, we gotta practice gratitude. And I'm a Christian, so I'm gonna use the Bible here. Give thanks. Okay. Psalm chapter 100, verse 4. Give thanks. Yeah, show appreciation. I know it's easier said than done. Believe me, I know. It's worth it. You gotta look at the good. We are quick to point the bad. We could do 9 things right. But once a person do that one wrong thing, a lot of humans get fixated that one wrong thing. And we need to be more grateful about the 9 things was done right instead of that one wrong thing. Okay? Let's just be absolutely clear about that. And I'm going to compare. Okay, I'm definitely going to compare United States and Canada. All the guests from Canada, and we will clear out some things here as I share this. Okay, so as you see here, we have 4 ways that Canadian Thanksgiving differs from United States. One is Canadian Thanksgiving celebrate in early October. It always lands on Mondays at the 9th. That's only the same day as Indigenous Day. I refuse to celebrate Christopher Columbus. Call me a wokester if you want. I don't care. It lines up with that. It's always the second Monday of October. Second Monday always. Okay. And they do have some similar origins. All right. I'm not going to get deep into that because this is not place for that. But the very first Thanksgiving of Canada actually predates the Pilgrim's Big Meal. Okay. And they had dinners back at 1578. That's way before the founding of Canada and America. Okay. It's more of a mark of the start of autumn and seeing as a family get together and all that. And Thanksgiving is not that big in Canada. I mean, America, we make it a pretty big deal, but some of us, we are just skipping Thanksgiving in America, going straight to Black Friday and decorating for Christmas already. Yeah. It's big in Quebec, but it's not as big. I mean, cross country Thanksgiving is celebrated. Thanksgiving is a time where families gather together, enjoy a turkey, celebrate harvest. But they don't travel as much. United States, visit your relatives or friends or what have you. It's more they watch hockey. Okay, they're more hockey oriented people when it comes to this holiday. Not saying in general, probably are in general, but and just like I said with the Black Friday, there's no Black Friday thing. Yeah, that's an American thing. Okay, and Canadians, well, according to this article, Canadians will celebrate it more because they're not focused on the whole craze of Black Friday and Christmas shopping, what have you. That's a very American thing. And I gotta say, it's pretty sinful, especially if we prioritize that crazy shopping and Black Friday and Christmas more than Thanksgiving. I mean, they should be celebrating these holidays, but just with less commercialism. I'm not saying you need to go buy. I'm not saying don't shop. But don't put that as your number one priority and just gloss over Thanksgiving. Some people have. I've seen it myself. It's screw Thanksgiving, let's eat the turkey to get ready for Black Friday. It's very bad in my opinion. So what's my point of all this? What is my point? Learn how to appreciate. Learn how to appreciate because trust me, life could get much worse. It could get much worse indeed. So if you enjoyed this video, give a like, share, subscribe. From whatever you're listening to, whatever time zone you're in, have a blessed day, afternoon, or night.